is a diabetes capital of the world. We have to step back and understand, look, this disease hasn't been brought around just in the 1990s. Even Egyptian mummies, they were found with organ damages, which can say, okay, this may have been coming from diabetes. This is an ancient disease, right? Initially, it was a disease of excess. It was always the disease of excess rather, but it was only limited to people who have lots of resources. Now, if I look at the data, what was the diabetes doing in India in say 1960s and 1970s? So we were close to 3%, 3.2%. That means out of 100 Indians, adult Indians that we take, only 3 would possibly have a diabetes. You come to 1990s and the number has jumped to 5.5. So this is a big jump. It's almost double, right? From 1990 to 2016, now we are talking about almost 8%. And the data which was recently released by the ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, says in 2020, adult Indians, out of 100, there is a good chance 9 of you will have diabetes. A very recent publication, again by the Indian Council of Medical Research, basically suggests if you're above 50, your chances of having a diabetes at this point is 11 out of 100, 11%. And this rise, this sharp rise is not stopping. It's going to continue, and it is expected to reach almost 16.5% and even higher within next 20 years. That's a frightening rise of one disease itself. Now, look at India 50 years ago. Very agriculture-based economy. That means everybody was physically working pretty much throughout the day. It was a very manual work. Whatever work you were involved in, it was a very manual work. A very tiny subsection of the society was actually sitting down and earning their living that way. The diet was mainly grains, vegetables and fruits, mainly whole grains. There was barely any maida in that diet. Now, that is where the diabetes rate was 3 and lower. 1990, we moved forward by almost 30 years. Now we're starting to cross 5%. What is changing? More urbanization. People are moving from rural to the urban areas. That means different kinds of work, more people sitting down, less people working throughout the day. The diet is starting to change. More prepackaged food, more processed food now coming into the system. Now, this is 2023. Look at what is around us. Look at how many facilities, how many restaurants are there which are selling you a pre-packaged or pre-made meals. Definitely way higher. Look at what kind of activity we do, just as an individual. And look at around you. If you work in an office, everybody is sitting down for hours at a time. Where do you think all this processed food combined with absolutely not much of physical activity is going to lead us? That is why we are on the escalator. That is why the diabetes is going to go all the way to 16% and higher in the next 20 years. It's one disease that can literally has a power to cripple not just a person, not just a family, not a society, but an entire nation. That is why there has to be so much focus on preventing these diseases from happening in the first place. So we will focus on the nutrition because remember, this is a modifiable disease. As long as you change your lifestyle, you change the lifestyle, you change the outcome of what is going to happen to you and your body.